What's up, beautiful souls, and welcome to our relationship of the discovery that this cacao the kids yesterday made. Huh? Why you?
Because the kids didn't make it. Rosanna made it, and I love Rosanna. But the second day of the cacao is not doing so well.
You me on the podcast. Okay, then I don't say anything. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So this is just us being real, being authentic, being our authentic self, and taking you along on the discovery where we are at. And that's what I want to keep it at. That's why I love that we sit across from each other, look in each other's eyes, and I talk to you, because the last podcast, which you didn't hear, for the listeners.
Because we're not going to publish it.
Exactly. It was just for us an excuse, a permission slip.
Because I got up and walked away in the middle of it.
Kinda. But then she came back. I was like in Titanic. Jake, come back. Come back.
This is Jack or Jake?
Jake. I don't know. Yeah. And so in the last podcast, we were sitting in my apartment on the bed, and we didn't have eye contact so much. So I got in looking to the camera and talking to my vegan savages, and then I got on these channeling rants, which are super nice. But I've been there, I've done that. Like, it's all there for all my German vegan savages, the last 20, 30 episodes. It's all there, like how to create your reality. It's you transforming your limiting fear-based negative beliefs, da. And now we're here. Just enjoy being our authentic selves, following our excitement and the discovery, because the downloads don't stop. Magic is happening. We just accept it at this point, and we take you along by us exactly just having flow state sex before this podcast. Tell them about our morning. Tell them about our flow morning. You want to tell them?
Yesterday was Christmas, and we had a beautiful acid day with our core family. Very, very small amount. And then this morning, and it was really nice. And then this morning we woke up at 7? Early. We woke up early. And we cuddled and we talked. And then we picked up Afro, my dog, and we went to the waterfall. And then what else did we do? I don't know. It was so great. I was just fully in flow. It's like whatever we're doing is great.
Great story, bro. Let me tell it. It's so nice. I love this woman so much because she's so in this flow of life, which is our biorhythm, going to bed kind of early, waking up kind of early, not by having the structure, but just we're tired, so let's not keep ourselves awake because we need to feel connected on social media and distract ourselves and just the screen and that. No, we found it. We are connected. We can make love. And yesterday evening, we made love, and then we were just laying there. And like, let's turn off the star projector and falling asleep, dreaming next to each other around like 10 to 11 p.m. And then naturally waking up fully rested at 7 a.m. And I was like, let's go to this waterfall. There's this one magical waterfall. We don't tell you which one because we don't want being savages to be there.
My favorite waterfall.
Yeah, thank you for showing me. So, and I had this amazing...
You're not going to show anyone. Yeah.
No, Bashar event. I wanted you to listen to. So we were on our scooters. It's the early breeze here. It's fresh. Listening to the same Bashar event, hiking up the waterfall. It's this morning vibe. You know, in the morning I want to go out, real life, on an adventure, being in nature. I want that to start my day. And then we arrived there, dipping in the water, making it nice and cozy, talking about the Bashar stuff, just being out there. So all the elements with the nature, grounding, connecting, knowing that we are nature. We are nature, and we are connected, and we feel that connection. And we're telling the UFOs and everything out there that we're here, we're fucking ready. And what better way could you tell them by making love? So I get the nicest blowjob. And
we brought a really nice blanket, so it was very soft.
I know if people are listening, but what if someone is coming and you're making love?
And you were like, what did you say?
If they watch us, it's their
fault.
They're watching.
Like, if they come, they should just watch and honor our experience.
Yeah, because it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went back to Delhi Devi, and we met synchronistically our two soul family members, Eve and Jenny, and just having them next to us so nice, and figuring things out like synchronistically how it all and enjoying this nice iced coffee, this iced chocolate. You got me off coffee. You got me so in alignment. I bounced back a little bit, and then I was like, nope, I'm done with coffee for good. This just doesn't feel good.
I just want to put it out to the world that I didn't get you off coffee. I just told you that I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, just being around you, I cannot not be my authentic self. So when I met you caffeinated, I'm like, I cannot fully enjoy that or be that, like so embodied, and that's why it just was okay. Now I'm motivated to quit it. And yeah, a couple of days ago I jumped back on it just a little, and then no, this doesn't feel good. I'm kind of done with it. Also, the little acid trip showed me I'm kind of done with psychedelics, even in small amounts, because it is us.
It was so strong.
Yeah, we just took,
we
for the record,
need it anymore.
Legal LSD, for the record, and it's just you took 30 microgram and me 40, which is like
such a microdose,
such a mini dose,
yeah.
and it was so strong. And then it's like caffeine for me, where it's like I'm so woke that it's a bit too woke.
Yeah, we had to go in nature and ground ourselves.
Yeah, and it's a nice way, but I don't need this permission slip anymore, because I am that woke already, and I want to experience it as Ferdi. And this was showing me, especially with you, this is already the heaviest psychedelic in the best way possible, like real unconditional love. That's and yeah. So this.
And then you got a chess game. So
I got a chess game. We played chess. Who won?
You won.
I won. I was so my masculine.
But I just want everyone to know that I made you nervous at the beginning. The pressure was on. I was moving in.
Yeah, but nervous in a way of we have fun, but I'm not. Oh, I want to win.
Yeah, no, I
like
know.
You went to this child yesterday playing with his stuffed animal. Who's gonna win?
I know, that was so funny. We were at static dance, and this little kid was playing with his stuffed animal chess, and I went up and I was like, "Who's winning?" And he just looked at me like, "What? Why are you asking me that? We're just having fun." And I'm like, "Oh, that was such a stupid question."
Yeah. So we're at this point where we learn from children.
Yeah.
Because they're
more woke than us.
Yeah, like the new kids, already us. It's a new,
because
not just a new generation.
Remember, it's just people.
It's a new species, as Bashar likes to say.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just they don't forget as much. They remember more.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, everyone listening, we can all feel it. We're all waking up to it, that we just remember more and more. It's less about learning, more about remembering. And yeah, this was this nice morning flow. And like yesterday was another breakthrough of really getting the here and now. Of like when I'm with you, not just with you, but mostly that's where I want to come back to. I arrived, and it's nowhere to get to. I just want to do what we do fully, and not having this, because so many things people do, they do it to get somewhere. I'm going to hurry up and be really early there to record this podcast, and I have all this time to go to the gym, and then and then where do you want to get? Do you might want to go back and enjoy the journey? And that is slowing down to accelerate by actually arriving in the here now and doing what we love doing in a way we love doing it, and not having this, okay, what are you doing next? And then, but getting this out of your head, but knowing that you're always guided, and it's your excitement. Like this morning was so flowy. Like when I set up the podcast equipment, like you were making me so horny, and then we had this nice sex, and I could be like, no, we got to record the podcast. No.
I mean, you did kind of say that. And then
yeah, but in a fun way. Yeah, and then this is life. Like we arrived, and everything is just extra. And yeah, we wanna do something, but what's the point in doing anything? There is no getting somewhere. And if we really wanna get somewhere, it's being our authentic selves. That's what everyone is doing to find them, to do all this shit. And me in the past too, I was doing so many things, and now looking back, because now I'm like this mini oversoul version of myself. Like I am this Ferdi from 5 years, from 10 years. But now I am that, but I know more. So now when I think back, I was doing this and this and this to get to here, where I'm arriving in the here and now, following my excitement, and really not making assumptions or insistence on where it's going. Like, not this leads to somewhere. Not we're going to the waterfall in nature. Okay, I'm gonna meditate because it leads to me being more productive. And then I get to where? No. It always comes back to the formula. It leads you somewhere, but your life theme. But that's it. You dance it or you cry it. I want to dance it with you. And yeah,
I just think it's funny because like when I came to Austria for your retreat and you were like flow state, everyone was like flow state, and I think that's amazing to like imprint that idea in people, because most people are programmed to believe like, yeah, like what you're saying, just do the thing and then you do the next thing and then you do the next thing. But I feel like now we're actually literally flowing. Like they were not like saying flow state anymore to get us there or even trying to make it. We're just like,
I mean, we do say it,
but
we live it.
But
in like this fully embodied way of even how we played chess, flow state, which was fun.
It was
and
so much fun.
And yeah, it's
just hard to like describe to people. Even for me to even put into words, I'm like, how would I even describe this?
Okay.
I just know it feels really good.
I think I know a way how to describe it.
Okay.
Everyone listening, thinking about the things they do, the last, like this day, the last days, the last week, all the things they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Why, in the core, did you do those things? And often it's, I want to get to, and it's always the same, we want to be free. Mm-hmm. We want to follow our excitements, doing what we love to do. We want to play.
And feel connected.
Like our creative expression, and feel connected. And yeah, we're physical beings, so we want to, like, of course, then we get excited when we're hungry to eat. But eat when you're hungry. We want to sleep because we need to, but sleep when you're thirsty. Just kidding. Sleep when you're tired. And then it's all, oh, I have to sleep at these hours. No. You sleep when you're tired. Like all these things, and then just get quote unquote lost in the flow, which for me means surrender to the control you already have. Like let your higher self take over. And it's not, oh, then you don't have your free will anymore. No, that's where free will and destiny merges. Because your destiny is what you chose your life theme. And it's the free will of your higher self. You chose it yourself, but now you're here, your physical mind, and have this free will of your destiny which merges. And it's gonna kick you back to your destiny, to your life theme anyway. So if you don't enjoy resistance and pain, go with the flow. Why do you swim upstream all this resistance and pain when you can just flow down the river of your life theme and be your authentic self and dance it? And you don't need to dance. You can free will. Nothing has a built-in meaning. You can be serious. You can go sideways. You can be like Spider-Man and go up the walls as you like.
Yeah, for me, it helped me to, when I was starting to flow, was to just ask myself every moment what felt good in my body.
Yes.
Like, okay, I have this on the schedule today, but in this exact moment, do I want to do this? And that was such a big, I want to say mind fuck, but also opportunity. Because if I didn't want to do it, it was almost like a test or a game that the universe, I was playing with myself basically, of like, am I really going to honor what feels good for me right now? Am I really going to flow with what I want? Or am I going to do it just because I said it was on my schedule, even though it's causing resistance right now in my body? And I kind of made this like a fun challenge with myself where I was just like canceling on people, not canceling, but rescheduling, like just saying straight up, like, I don't feel good. I don't feel this is what I want to do right now. I just need to honor my body and do something else. And then the people were like, okay. Especially on this island. Maybe, I don't know, in Germany or somewhere else, people were like, schedules. Yeah. But here it's like, everyone's just like, okay.
People are listening and they're probably like, this is so challenging, and I get it.
Yeah, especially in a structured society.
In Germany, I was so pushing the flow, making flow state retreats, so pushing the flow, but it's all built.
You just said pushing the flow.
Pushing the flow, yeah.
That sounds like an oxymoron. Like it sounds backwards.
I know.
Okay.
But it's so built on structures, so people weren't living in a flow. So the synchronicity happened for me, but not for them. And then it was like this alone flow. But it's so magical when it's the flow of, because we want to connect. And then when we stop scheduling things, but it's just happening organically and operating on total synchronicity. And that's what we experience. Like, we bump into our star family on a daily, many times.
Literally all the time.
And we have, like yesterday, and we have planned nothing of that.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's these callings, like, oh, tomorrow we wanted to do like this. And like, there's such this high excitement of, yeah, we want to go to the dance, that we already know, yeah, but we feel in like the evening before, you know. But then it's we don't need to go. We can every moment check in, how do you feel in your body? And if you don't feel good, change the here and now.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, they're like, well, the consequences are not worth it sometimes. Like, I must do this because I'm going to lose money or this and that. And step by step, you know, like if you don't want to go to your job, maybe don't quit right away, but like build an exit plan and like slowly, it's kind of what you were talking about, like veganism this morning. It's like enter foods into your diet where slowly the meat and the milk products go out, you know?
Step by step.
Step by step.
Honor your belief system, as Bashar likes to say. His analogy, you wouldn't jump out of an airplane without a parachute. What you believe, you will experience. And if you currently don't believe, your excitements will support you, they won't. And then every choice has a consequence. Be aware of that. Every choice has a consequence.
But maybe just add something nice to your day instead of like taking away things that you're worried about people will judge you or whatever.
Here's how you do it. Always comes back to the formula.
Yeah.
You honor your belief system in the here and now where you're at. And you want that your excitement support you. So you follow more your excitement. But still, okay, I keep this job and now I reduce it to like 3 days per week. And I still make enough money because I'm excited to be more minimalist. And then I have so much time. I use this time to follow my excitement. And this, like that's how I got started. Like social media was so exciting for me. And then I found these ways. Like, hey, I do social media management, I called it, for 2 companies I loved. They made like vegan protein powder and this sports app. And bam, I earned 1K per month. I'm like, I pay all my stuff, and then my reach growed, and I got corporations, and Julian moved in, so the rent was even cheaper. And then, because I followed my excitement, what you put out is what you get back. Your reflections reinforce your belief, and then when you experience them, you really embody and believe it, and thus you really believe it, thus you experience it. And then, of course, I believe my excitement support me because I experience it. So it always comes back to the formula, but step by step, what feels good, and really, what do you most strongly believe? Because you won't experience what you would like to believe, what you talk yourself into, what you believe most strongly to be. So especially like at night when you tuck in your blanket, think about, what do I really believe? When I'm not like, yeah, I'm caffeinated, I believe I can do anything. What do you really believe in the core? And be aware that you can change it, but be honest to where you're at. Always be honest to yourself.
Accept where you're at right now. And then you can change it.
Exactly.
If you're trying to block it out and suppress it, it's only going to stay. It'll get bigger.
And then step by step, you like, I'm the perfect example. And I see all the people in my reality who follow the formula more and more, they get those reflections. Yeah. And now we're at this point of, okay, I made a good amount of money. And now because getting that we are abundant beings, it's our nature. We always live in abundance. But many people believe in lack. So they get this abundance of lack. And right now, okay, money is good. No one is excited to just make money. And I see all this abundance now flowing in different ways because like connections to source, like shifting in the reality we both see, being so far ahead to be symbols for others. If we can do it, they can do it. And we can lead the way. If no one does it, we do it. Like this abundance of downloads we get. Like the biggest abundance right now I'm getting is the abundance of downloads, of synchronicity,
of sex,
of quality time, of imagination, love, and this is, this is what right now serves me.
And also people who get it, there's a lot of people in our reality that we can be 100% real with.
Because many people think like, oh, abundance only money. And then if I have money, I want more money. And if I have more money, I want more money. And then, but if you really get it, we are abundant beings. And I let all forms in abundant flow in. And I'm not designed to know which one is good for me right now. I follow the formula. And then I see, right now it's 60% synchronicity of abundance, 5% money of abundance, and 35%, did I say synchronicity? And 35% like just opportunities or getting gifted something or imagination or love or just opportunities of all of a sudden these doors open. Because what is the true gold? What is the true money? It's you. It's your light. That's the money. Why does Julian Zietlow, this multimillionaire, like follow me I'm his best friend and invests in me so much because he sees the gold in me. And people who see it. And that's like, you are the gold. And I'm always rich because we're abundant beings, and whatever I touch turns into gold because I believe in myself. And what many people touch turns into ash because they believe they're a piece of shit. And it can also go into gold, but it's starting with you. The mirror analogy, you look in the mirror, what do you see? Your reflection. What you put out. A smile, you get a smile back.
Should we tell them about what happened with the collective last week?
Tell them. And give me the cacao, I want to torture myself.
Try it again. So I have had this community space for 2 years now, and I didn't really know what to do with it. Is the cacao bad? Oh, the cleaners are here.
The cleaners are here? Okay, so what we're going to do, would you, maybe you ask them if they come back in like an hour?
Yeah.
And if they don't want to do it, we just go in this room. And we're back. Afro, come here. Afro, come here. Come here. Come here. Come in the frame so we savages can see you.
Good, Papa.
What did they say?
Oh, they'll come back at 1.
Okay.
He just wanted to, whatever. Afro's doing her thing.
That's good. A free dog, what we support.
Yeah. Yeah, so the collective,
Sit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Put your legs here. Get cozy. How do you feel in your body?
I feel so ready to let go of this place. Okay,
Yeah. So this is the conclusion.
So this is the conclusion.
Long story short, but give it us a
yeah,
bit
so
longer.
I had the space, did so many events, so many people have lived here.
Like 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
And if you don't know, the Remote Collective is the space we're now in. If you're watching visually, you see it. That's where Brittnee hosted all display parties. And it's in, keep talking.
Yeah, we just had hundreds of events here, like many people who have hosted their own events here. And for most of it, I didn't live here. And we just, like, people who needed a home base, they came through and stayed. You know, when they're first coming to the island, they're looking for a place. So that was my concept, was I just wanted a home base, like when people are onboarding into the island with our soul family.
Which is so loving, creating safe spaces, like catching people, which is family, which I did the same for years, and it's so yummy for other people.
And for most of the time, like, the space was, I would say, sustainable. Like, from, like, you know, maybe I paid a little bit every month to keep it going, but I had so many mentors ask me, why do you have that space? It's like not a good financial investment. And I was just like, you don't get it. Like, this is
You don't get it.
You don't. This is not
You
about.
don't get life.
Yeah, this is not about the money. This is not about any of it. And at the same time, I ran it for a year with my ex-boyfriend, and then this last year was by myself. And you know, it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom villa, and it's and I had my own house outside of this, and doing all of the life things, the 3D things, especially in a foreign country on a small tropical island, it's a lot of energy, and I'm tired, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then you came into my life like this volcano of energy and love, and you were like, we can remodel it. And then you had this beautiful idea to get some of the vegan savages to come stay for a week and remodel, and went down to the hardware store here and like spent a ton of money getting all this stuff. And then we both were like, because you have your own apartment, and I was like, you were like, well, let's move in together and make it this like creative space where we can make lots of content. And then we woke up the day after you bought all the stuff for the house, and like we were in our separate places messaging each other like, wait, we actually don't want to keep it. Like, that was the download, was we both were like, it was not a fuck yes for both of us. And then you're like, are you sure you want to get rid of it? And I was like, yes, that is a full body yes.
It's crazy how we can feel ourselves. I woke up in this place feeling a bit sick, and I was like, okay, my gut feeling, that's your excitement, that's your higher self guiding you. And then you can have this gut feeling, what everyone has, and then justifying with your mind. But I'm not going to do that again. I did the mirror meditation. I was like, okay, it's a fuck no, this place. So why should I justify it in my mind? And then I could sense you feel the same. You even sent me this about human design, what to let go, and letting go of justifying your gut feeling. I'm like, yeah, I wanna follow truly my excitement. And then we were texting back and forth, and it was so clear. So yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, and then we were just like, let's minimize everything because
Space. What's to come?
I want energetic space.
Yeah.
Because you can take up all of the physical reality space, but then it also takes up a lot of emotional and mental space. And I've had all of the villas, I've had all the luxurious things in my timeline, and now I just want something really simple.
So we can go to waterfalls,
Yeah.
we can live our best life, and there's not all this 3D shit we come back to. And what about this? And what about that? And now the cleaners need to come because we have so much stuff, and it's just simple and minimalist, so we can just keep it clean ourselves and have all this space. And like all the things you went through before I knew you, I went through the same things. Like I also got so tired of all these social things I was creating, because okay, this is I'm helping people. I give them a nice time, like the meetups, the flow state retreats, the play party. But I can continue this now for the rest of my life, kind of. But this is not what I'm meant to be here. I was meant to do that for a good amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, we learned a lot by doing
so much about what we want, what we don't want. But now we really want to build a world, shift in a reality that is our home. Because this reality is not our home. This is not our home. We have this feeling inside. We know many do as well, of where our home truly is. And everything is changing. Everything is shifting. And we know we're shifting in that reality where it's our home. And we want to do that by not having so much noise, occupying our minds with things. We want to be here for it. And how do you shift in that reality by being that, by your state
and I also feel like it takes us out of flow state, you know, like we're literally here in a flow state, and then the cleaners are like, and then Afro's barking, and then
totally.
I'm like,
and that's how we shift in that reality, and we don't want it to be interrupted, and then create this reality of there's this, creating this.
I think
this.
I'm very grateful that I have had a timeline or chosen a timeline where I was able to try all the things, you know, and am still like.
And it always comes back to the formula. Back then it was our highest excitement. Totally. Because back then we had to go through it all to grow, to be us. If we would just teleport ourselves 5 years from now to here, we wouldn't recognize this place. We wouldn't recognize our relationship because we skipped the journey. And we had to grow, and this growing was so fun because we did follow our joy and all of that. Like back then when I go to the gym every morning, I'm so focused on my strict training and then so focused on veganism, studying nutrition, studying healthy life. But this was so my highest excitement, you know. I was the most joyful, and I'm still the same amount of happy because I still follow my highest excitement. But I honor that. Go back to the formula. Your excitement changes because you grow. And now, just having this nice physique and eating my smoothie bowl, it's not fulfilling me anymore. I loved it as a base. But now, I want to build on top and grow and expand. It's always about becoming.
Yeah, I mean, like, people always joke, like, Brittnee, you're the queen of the island. Because, like, I ran the main community for many years. And, yeah, everyone knows me, even the Thai people and the Burmese people here. And then when I just had this download yesterday when I asked it, I was like, I don't want to be the queen anymore. Like, I think of like reading and watching Game of Thrones, and the thing that they always say in there is like, when you are royalty, you have all this responsibility. You have an obligation to your people, basically. And I am like, I feel like I have served enough. Like I have done my service, and I'm ready to hand it off to someone else. And then do the next level up of whatever I need to do in the world, you know? But create a lot of space for that to come in. And I think you and I know what all of that is coming. And it's so beautiful that we're connected in it. And I just want to be in our bubble and like connect and create content and share with people. And I feel like that's the biggest impact I can make than like sitting with someone one-to-one and coaching them, or doing an event with 50 people, you know? But if we can make a podcast and it can go to 10,000 people, that's way more of an impact.
And we just cannot fool ourselves anymore. We woke the fuck up. We woke up, we see it all. We know we live in a infinite universe. All that is the fucking multiverse. We can see our parallel lives, our past lives, our future lives. We see all of that. We see all of that. Now when we listen to Bashar, it's not this, intellectually, no. literally, yeah, we feel the connection and it's all there. And we know, we remember that we're part of the hybridization program, that we're going to meet the hybrid children, that they're going to acclimatize to us, we're to them, we're helping, creating this reality. We know we cannot fool ourselves anymore. Many people don't see that yet, and they think we're crazy, but we see that, we know that, and we can play poor little dumb us and have this double life, or we step in our power, why we came here, what we chose here, our life theme, and fulfill it, because we're gonna come back there eventually. So why not stay there now and fully step in that way? And it's all there. It's all in the here and now. And now we are ready for the magic. We found each other. I saw you coming like nothing else.
We are the magic.
Exactly. And now that I found you, now that you're here, which is still so surreal for me, that you are in this 3D reality and I can touch you, make love with you, kiss you. And now I see the next things so clear. And I cannot fool myself anymore. I get the same dreams, I get the same downloads, I get the same imagination, just synchronistically shown like, yeah, Freddy, that's what you chose, that's what you chose, that's what you chose.
And I feel like a lot of people are feeling and like getting these hints of like themselves in parallel dimensions and like kind of subconsciously allowing themselves to wake up to the realities that you and I are conscious of right now. And we chose the timeline to dive deep into it first and then come back and tell everyone about it.
Someone has to lead the way. I looked for years, and if no one does it, we does it, and we chose to.
And for many years, I wanted someone to be telling me what to do. Like, I was like, is anyone out there? Can someone help me? Like, somehow I'm understanding a lot more of what's going on than most people. And I would love it if someone helped me. And then, like, the people I thought were my mentors were the ones asking me for help.
But how fun is it also leading the way? Seeing what...
It's more fun together.
Yeah. Alone, I would be more this kind of work, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's just fun. And yeah, people so get it subconsciously, but they brush it off because they're so afraid people think I'm crazy. Like most people out there, they believe in higher powers. They believe in some religion, there's of course more out there, and they know it on some level because they're all waking up to it. They get these dreams, these downloads, but they brush it off, or they get in that more, like they listen to my podcast, but they don't tell anyone that they listen to my podcast.
Secret.
Yeah, and it's, watch the numbers of how many people watch Marvel movies, watch Avatar, the most grossing movie ever, because it's activating.
I'm so excited. We're going to go see Avatar this week.
Yeah, in 2 days we go to Koh Phangan because there's a movie theater and we watch it with the inner crew. And
we're renting a villa and we're going to get snacks.
Yeah,
and
it's, millions and
life
millions
is
and millions, billions people watch it. I don't know if it's billions. Yeah, life's amazing.
Billions.
Because subconsciously it's activating as fuck. It reminds them of different timelines, like when they were living in Atlantean timelines, of this is me. This is more home than this. This is where, like, what does it truly mean to be human? What is even human? We're all hybrids. But yeah, we are human because we come from Earth. But this is not all of us. This is just where we are right now in this timeline. But we have all these connections. We have all this power in us. When they're saying, like, we just use 10% of our brain. No. We use 100% of our brain. And out of that, we just use 10% of our brain. But we always use 100%. We always are connected to source. We always have the power, but we play poor little us. We're so limited. I cannot do this because of this, because you say so. But if you stop saying, I cannot do this, but you do it, you activate all, and then we discover what it truly means to be what we are as this hybrid humans. And if we can do it, because people wait for symbols. If no one, it's like 1 mile, no one could run.
Like this morning I woke up with a dream I was having about us getting our own outfits to be superheroes.
It's like this, it's like this 1 mile, running it under 4 minutes, I don't know. No one could do it, but then one person did it, and in this year, thousands of people did it. We need a symbol. Mm-hmm. And then, and it's so nice because people around the world, we can see them waking up left and right. Waking up left and right. But many people are at this point right now where all the shit they accumulated of, belief thieves, of society. They're healing all the trauma, all the fear-based belief. They're getting it all on the table and healing that. And we got to the point we healed that shit. We can now focus on the discovery and see what's ahead. And we are seeing and they not. But we pull it in this, we shift in this reality where we can all see it. And this is what I want to focus on. That's why our highest excitement, what is it right now? Creating all the space. Creating all the space, cutting the noise and focusing on that. And how good does it feel? Amazing. How good did it feel when we were laying there on this waterfall and I was telling this alien meditation? Should I tell it now?
Yeah, say it.
Okay, people, just a disclaimer. If you're driving right now, this is really activating. You might bump into a UFO. I see you. I recognize you. I invite you to invite me to participate more openly, more consciously, without fear. And I introduce myself to you as a friend of the messenger, as a friend of Bashar, as a friend of the hybrids, as a friend of the children who will come to live among us. And I am open, in whatever way serves everyone best, to participate in the ongoing program of evolution that will allow Earth to move forward and become the 6th hybrid race. I allow this on my own terms, in an experience of love, in an experience of comfort, in an experience of allowance on both sides, and I allow myself to come into more awareness, more conscious recognition of the ongoing encounters in my life and the participation of all my counterparts and connections and soul family and spirit guides and higher mind in this endeavor. For all concerned, with love and peace, Bashar sent us, and we are here. Wow. And it's, this. I hope this is not a disclaimer in disguise, what I'm saying. If so, you stop me. What I'm saying now. So you will stop me. Okay. I can so get, or just me talking now, looking back when I listen to myself, like I know the way I talk, I know how crazy it can seem for so many people, but if you feel this connection to source, to your higher self, if you have these, if you experience that, you cannot not see it anymore. And I also know many people create such an illusion of disconnection. They never have these moments, these experiences of connection to source. And when you don't have that, I can so see how this sounds so crazy, but I don't want to reach those people anymore because those people shift in a different reality. I want to reach the people that get it.
My question is, why are you saying this right now?
Exactly. So what's a disclaimer in disguise?
Yeah, what? You have an inner belief that you need to protect what you just said.
And that's why, I am so good right now at this point that I get it before I say it. So next time I don't even say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We just we know our way, we walk it, and everyone who listens because we cannot reach everyone. So why would we try? We reach the people we want to reach, and we...
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Okay.
I want to talk about last night when we were laying in bed, and I was like, I want to let your love in more. And
yeah, let's talk about that.
Why do you keep saying this? And I was like, I don't know. And I had to close my eyes, and you were like, and I was like, shh, I'm figuring it out.
I love when you shh me.
And then I was like, I went inside and I was like, why do I? And I realized that I had this inner belief that things were just going to get worse because this is what happened to me growing up. And then I was creating this thing of I'm not going to let it in all the way because if I do, then that means it's only going to go downhill. And then I was like, no, things can just keep getting better and better and better and better. And also, if I keep thinking there's something there, then it will create the reality that there's something there. And it can just be nice all the time. It can just keep getting better. And then I let it go. And then I cried a lot.
Yeah, because...
How did it feel for you when I was telling you, I want to let it in more? And you were like, what the fuck?
Because... when we just are, there is nothing in between.
No, there isn't.
And then you keep saying it sometimes, and then it's like Bashar saying, there is no block unless you say there is a block, and then there is a block. And then I ask you, why do you keep saying that? Because then you create it. But when we just are, there is nothing. We already arrived. It's the love. We feel it both. It's mutual. It's boom. and then stop creating that you think you like let that go, and then you went into it like, where did it come from? And I'm so happy you discovered you can just let it go. And I can see how way more challenging it is for you getting hurt in the past and not having a family. You know, me on Christmas talking to my mom on the phone, she's always there for me. I can always go home to Munich, go in my room and live there and be safe. And I cannot imagine how it is to not having that. So that's why I am so excited I'm your home. I will always take care of you. Always, always, always. I know we are connected. I'm always going to come back to you. I love you. We were meant to meet. And what I have is what you have. My mom is your mom. And by you getting that, you can let these walls go and stop thinking to create a block. And you can feel that it's not just words. You can say that so easily. You see how I walked it, and so I'm happy you let it go, because let's just focus on our love.
Yeah, and like I think today I really feel that I have let it go, because I'm just being my completely flowy self. I like keep forgetting what we're gonna do next, because I'm just so in the moment.
And that's how it should be.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and our relationship got on such a level. Remember, like the first podcast we were doing here, being stoned, which also never came out.
Never released that one.
But already back then we had this strong connection. I had to no one else.
Yeah. So people know that was before we started dating. That one we recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, back then you were my strongest connection ever, ever, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Even without me saying it. So I'm like, whoa, I'm not gonna say, whoa, I'm not gonna reveal all my love. Let's first.
And then I was like, take some MDMA.
Yeah, and then
you were like, what? I've never done that before.
And then I had this overwhelmingness, because I had all this love in me that wasn't spoken.
And I was like, you're safe. How do you feel in your body?
And then I let it all out like a waterfall, and it feels so good, because letting true love be unspoken is the quickest route to a heavy heart. That was in such a nice cheesy movie. It's called Sky High.
Whenever you quote things, I'm just like, babe, quote yourself.
But isn't that a nice quote?
I mean, it's okay.
Okay, here's quoting myself.
You're sexier when you talk.
But isn't it quoting I love talking. You know, this entire podcast, it's us creating.
What were we gonna say?
Like this quote, it's saying it all. That let the love, like that's our whole theme of showing people, make people uncomfortable with your love, the real love, because our society is so built on we suppress love, we're not gonna show it. We build all this shit around, so we protect ourselves from what? From fear, buying into fear.
Isn't it such a funny concept that people get uncomfortable with love?
Yeah, because it's their fear.
Like, that's the nicest thing in the world. And people are like,
because
whoa.
The world is so good in creating unsafe spaces. And when you feel unsafe, you're afraid to show the love, because you're afraid to get hurt. You're afraid someone will hurt you physically or emotionally. Mm-hmm. And often both. So the world, many people are so good at creating unsafe spaces. Like a typical office, when people sit in a cubicle. You were saying
earlier we should just go up to people and be like, you are really great at creating unsafe spaces. Do you know this? And they're like, whoa.
And they're like, whoa. And then we're like, how do you feel in your body? That people are afraid of you.
Yeah, how does it feel in your body when you make people feel unsafe?
And people are so afraid of you. How do you feel? So yeah, think about like a classical cubicle. Everyone is dense, everyone is caffeinated, they're all hating what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It's all this fear, it's all this ego, it's this hierarchy of how much is he getting paid, jealousy.
That was my law firm life for 6 years.
And how should you express your love in such an unsafe environment when you hate yourself and everything? It's how you treat others. No, how you treat yourself is how you treat others. Mm-hmm. And so why do many people, their love language is dissing each other in a quote-unquote fun way?
Whenever someone is doing that, I'm always like, oh, I feel bad for how they treat themselves.
And like 10 times stronger, that's how they treat themselves.
That's their inner reality bubble.
Like in Marvel, the raccoon or whatever it's called, this animal, this nice...
What's his name?
I forgot. He disses people because he hates himself. But then this blue guy with this feather, it's revealing it like, hey, bro, you're like me. We hate ourselves. That's why we're and then like Julian Zietlow, my perfect example for every testimonial thing I'm doing. He was dissing me so much, and in the past it was great because I supported him showing love, and that's where he was. But now he got to this point where he can just say, bro, I love you. Take me in his arm. We have physical touch, and we look, we gaze at each other's and allow us in and feel cozy and warm in our tummy and just be bros and laugh and have a good time and not have anything between us.
Yeah, whenever someone is being mean or like dissing on someone else, I'm always like, ooh, I want to give their inner child a hug, you know, because that's their inner child. Someone made them feel really terrible when they were little, and then they felt like that's just what you do to other people when you want to connect with them. And I'm just like, what? There's so many more options, but no one showed them, or maybe it just got imprinted so deep that they don't even realize what they're doing. And so I'm so happy that like Julian, he was awake enough that you were able to speak to him, because you like sat him down and said that to him, like, you can keep dissing me, but this is a better way. You can just tell me you love me.
I remember then he got really quiet because it was sinking in as usually, and then later I came and he was giving me so much love. I'm like, oh, bro, you get it. How good does it feel? And before us happened, especially before a couple days ago, when I experienced that, I wasn't saying it.
Why not?
I mean, we both weren't doing it.
Like I know, but I just want to get to
why not? Because
we're awake to it. So why was it hard for you and us?
Because, I mean, we were, but on a level of we keep helping them, but not but also because we couldn't see it so clearly. Now we can see through when people show love in such a quote-unquote limiting way, why they do it. And now we can so straight talk to the thing that is in between. And before that, it felt like more we were helping them too. But now...
So we were hurting ourselves, thinking we were helping them. This is why it's so good to honor what's happening in our bodies. And if it's like, hey, whatever our relationship is right now is not feeling good in my body.
An example, a close friend of mine, I love her, but she always was dissing me and making me feel disgusting. And I just swallowed it down. It didn't feel good in my body.
For like years, yeah?
Yeah, it got better, but I never, I mean, I addressed it, but I never really in this straight up way, like starting like this, which is I think the most powerful way. This doesn't feel good in my body. I don't feel safe. I kind of then question myself, am I disgusting? Like, I don't feel good in my body. And if people don't respect that, they shouldn't be in your life. And if you start like that, and not, why do you diss me? And then they're like, this is my love language. No, telling me like, how does it make you feel? Like telling them, I love you. Don't you love me unconditionally? Don't you respect me? Don't you want to make me feel good in my body? Not by giving something to me, but yeah, just not pushing your shit on me and going deep. Like, why are you like that in the core? How do you talk to yourself? How do you feel in your body? Do you feel safe in your body? Like, and in the last days, I sent many voice memos to people where, and you know, no filter in my head anymore. How do they perceive it? Holding back, straight from the heart, exactly seeing what it is, and talking about that.
How does it feel to send those?
So good.
Because you're pulling back your energy to yourself. You're like draining your energy by giving it to people who are not honoring it. It's not going back to you in a positive way, you know? It's like you're giving it out and then they're like doing something fucked up with it and then you're just like getting drained. And then when you set those boundaries of like, this is how I want to be treated, this is how I want the energy to flow between us and our relationship to be, and they can rise to that level or they fade away. This is how it goes. But it is hard. I mean, I'll speak for myself because we were kind of mirroring each other in this situation of needing to speak to some people. And for me, it's not so much people dissing me. Like, I don't have that in my life, but I have it where people come to me and want to share all of their traumas. And they want me to feel their traumas with them. And I'm like, I have gone through my work of feeling my own traumas, letting them come to the surface and then letting them go. And I can use them as a tool for, you know, a superpower for everything I'm doing now, all the things I've learned. I don't want to sit there and like listen to people's traumas as a way to connect. They were sharing their traumas as a way to connect. And I honor that. And I honor that I used to do that. And now I just don't want to do that anymore. I want to play. I want to talk about the things I'm building. I want to be excited about life and like share what I'm excited about and listen to what they're excited about and talk about what we're growing, you know, like all of it. And of course, this doesn't mean like good vibes only. It's just like, even if we're having a day where it's like something's off or whatever, we can sit there and remind each other of our power and come back to ourselves. But it's not like we're sitting deep and sinking in the trauma and then wanting the other person to come into the mud with you. And then like, yes, let's connect down here.
Real vibes only, and not looping. When people loop, like here's the way out, and when they keep looping, bye. I tell them, you loop there. I'm like this, and like about this, like that I introduce, that I like create safe spaces for people's trauma. I got that a while ago, that I was just peace out, you're looping. And but I was doing that, for example, for Julian, because there was this mutual that he got it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I learned so much by guiding him and learning so much from him, because I could learn so much from him. Yeah. So
we love Julian.
And then I have so much space, because I take his trauma, because I have so much space.
Because the energy is going back and forth.
Yeah, and I'm not
he's
taking
just draining you.
And I'm not taking it from 30 people, you know? Like at the meetups, people come, Ferdi, and I'm like, I'm stopping them there.
My life story.
And I'm stopping them there. I'm giving it straight, and now you gotta embody it, and then peace out, I'm gonna play spikeball. Mm-hmm. And then when I see, I tell it to them, and then now it would be repetitive. I'm like, peace out, I'm gonna play ultimate frisbee. Mm-hmm. And then that's, I so...
But it's, for me, I still had to be really brave, like, to send those messages.
Yeah, I know.
Because especially this one person, I love her so much. And a part of me was like, you know, I was even crying about it. I'm like, I know what it feels like to be so alone in the world. And I don't want to ever make anyone else feel that way. But then I have to honor my body, you know, if it doesn't feel good in my body. And then I sent her this really beautiful voice message. And then she wrote back, I only see projections here. It was just like, she didn't. And then I just wrote back, I don't feel good in my body because I don't feel like you really listened to me. And, you know, it's just like, I didn't have a trigger from it. Like, I didn't need to learn anything from it. I was just like confused. And for me, that means this is not in alignment anymore.
Yeah. Because when you get the mechanism, you just get it. You can see through, and then you know, of course I want to help everyone. I love everyone, but this is the best way I can help them, by leading by example, staying on that frequency and showing others this frequency is possible 24/7, and everyone can only heal themselves. Mm-hmm. And then I stay there. Like, I saw Julian Zietlow, he wanted to go up there, but I stayed up there, and I pulled him up. Mm-hmm. And then he let go of his connections to go up there, to heal himself, which he only can do, and now he can guide his people around him. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't resonating with the people around him, and then I was peace out. Like, friends, I got introduced to him, we were one-on-one, I'm like, peace out. But he resonated, and then when I see, like, they let me uplift them, but when I feel they want to pull me down, mm-hmm. peace out. And I say exactly, like, straight up, and then that's the best we can help them.
But it makes me feel good knowing, like, seeing your story with Julian, because with this particular person that I love so much, there's this huge feeling of me of like, I don't want her to think I left her behind. But then when you say, like, you know, you kind of did that with Julian for a while, we were like, we took space, like, he did his thing, I did my thing, and then he wakes up a little bit more, and then he comes to your level, and then mm-hmm. like, you just keep growing together. But I felt like I would be going backwards if I was going back into that stuff.
Yeah, and often Julian, I was just letting him, because I know, okay, he needs to get it, and then I saw him sometimes looping, and and then I told him, bro, you're gonna come back to this point, and then Ferdi, I'm back at this point. Da 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 da. Voice me like, oh, he gets it, nice. Da 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 da, mm-hmm. and just focus on you, what feels good in your body, knowing you can only be responsible for you, mm-hmm. and then let's lead the way for others by letting them heal themselves.
Yeah, and then people will, like, if someone is wanting to do this and they're listening to this, I just want to tell them that the people will rise up that need to be in your life, you know? Like, of course I miss my family, you know? But my family wasn't very nice to me. Like, my mom, I'm very close to my mom and my older sister, but my dad and my younger sister, my dad was super abusive growing up, and my little sister wasn't nice to me for all of my life. And it was just like, I'm wondering now, like, if the universe was protecting me from a lot of that stuff and giving me the soul family that I really needed and that is nourishing for me. And so when we really are trusting the universe and trusting ourselves, really, because it's all of us, our higher selves, our higher minds, just know that whoever needs to be in your life will always be there. And you're creating space for someone. We were even saying this week, you know, like we need to create space for the people who need to be with us for the next thing we're doing, the next thing in the mission. And that's what we need to do. Because if you don't, then you're staying behind on what your own growth is and what your own life path is. And then you're going to really feel the resistance because it doesn't feel good. I have spent so many years feeling so alone in a group of people who all want my attention.
Same.
Yeah, I'm so done with that.
So done with that. And trusting that the people who get it, and they're gonna come in your life. It's like this meme you sent me, this invisible string between us, and it's gonna pull us together. And like, I didn't see Jenny coming, but then it blew me away, and she got it, and I'm so happy it's her, because with her I always have the best time. But the people who are meant to be in your life come, but if you let it by being yourself. Because if you're not yourself, then you get this synchronicity of bumping into people you're not meant to meet.
Or they won't recognize you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at the end, you cannot fuck it up. We're all like this. Often people, but what about, I don't want to leave them. You cannot leave anyone behind. We are all in spirit right now, because it's all in now. And just a portion of us is streaming that we are here. And all these things we're doing here, like these relationships and
it's all games.
and
we're just playing
up there in spirit,
yeah.
we're laughing about it, like, well, our star family here, or we were avoiding each other, but we know we're gonna, and then we're like pushing our higher selves, pushing like synchronistically. How are you gonna run away now? Or they do, okay, we let them bump into each other there and there and there. Oh, now they get it. And they're all laughing, you know, it's all a big cosmic joke. It's all fucking doesn't matter. And at the end, it's all, so what, you know? And now, okay, we're still here. We're still physical. There's still something out there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Let's fucking lighten up on ourselves.
Let's allow ourselves to have it be possible. That can keep getting better and better.
And know that we already have it all, and we're always connected. We cannot fuck it up. We cannot leave anyone behind. But you are going to wake up every morning as this for a while. How do you want that to experience? How do you want that to feel? And it's all up to you. And then when you get it all off your head, I cannot fuck it up. I cannot lose anyone. You can tune in, like back to the formula. What do I want to do? How do I feel good in my body? And step in your light. Or you can just keep fucking yourself, overthink until your head smokes, explode, get so much resistance and pain, be in the hospital, fuck up what you want. But you can just start to trust and surrender to the control you already have. And isn't it amazing that we all have our higher selves guiding us? And this is all real, that it's not, we read this fiction book and this sounds so magical. No, magic is fucking real. It's all around us. And that we finally wake up to that and experience that. Yeah, wasn't it nice that we're just laying here? I think we should always do our
this
podcast
is what I want
laying.
to do all the time.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend the other day, I went to a restaurant, I was like, I only go to places where I can lay down fully. This is my standard.
Yeah, exactly. Like restaurants where you have these super upright.
Yeah, like what are people doing?
I want to leave there.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel good in my body.
There's this really great meme that the Words of Vibrations guy made on Instagram, and he's like, it's this woman in the 18th century or whatever, and she's laying on a couch. She's like, I don't know what you guys are just talking about doing. I am just being. Like, stop asking me what I'm doing. I'm being. I'm like, yes, this is me. I'm just going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And I want places that feel good to be in.
Yeah. When I was setting up the podcast, I showed you this Bashar thing. Can you make it stop? I just want to be. I love that. Okay, I want to... I think we do it at the next podcast, because I would love for you to read me the astrology thing and the human design. I would love to... That being savage is, you know...
Well, I can read the Vedic astrology thing right now.
Yeah?
It's on my phone, yeah.
Okay. And the human design we do another time.
Yeah, because that one is a whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to go into
Okay.
that.
But we can
What
also
are
do
the
it next
things-
time.
What is it? What is all of these? These things you want to talk about
yeah,
today?
sex.
Did we go over any of them?
No. This is called flow state.
I love it.
But having a backup is also nice.
Yes. So one of my best friends in the whole world, her name's Daria, and she lives in Chiang Mai, and she's into something called Vedic astrology, and she also loves me very much. I've known her for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, and she's known a lot of men that I have dated, and she's always thought that they were not good enough for me.
And give this aboard Vedic astrology.
Okay, so Vedic astrology, the astrology that most people know of is what we call Western astrology. Vedic astrology is astrology that comes from India, and it's supposedly more ancient or more whatever. Everyone has their different opinions, but it is the same as, you know, when you think of like star signs, like what's your sun sign? Like you're a Virgo, I'm a Scorpio, all these things. Or Vedic astrology, they look at your birth chart, they put it into something that can show you exactly the timeline you're in right now, what's coming up for you in a couple months, your like soul timeline, like parallel lives, like basically other dimensions of you that are close to this timeline. And
I want to say something which is not a disclaimer, just how I got it over the years, because back then I was so fronting it like, oh, this is some shit, because it's a permission slip and I was seeing people use it. They are not their authentic self and just reading some articles, acting spiritual, and we're just talking woo woo blah blah.
Well,
Then I got it that you can use whatever permission slip when you are your authentic self, and you can pull it out of source. Like you are connected to source, and when you talk about human design, whatever, basically, you channel it out of source, and it's so hitting. It's the universal message. And using permission slips is fun. And when you read that, I'm like, she's pulling that out of source. She's legit. I get goosebumps. I feel it here, and my bullshit meter is so sharp for this is not an authentic. She's just talking woo woo blah blah, or she's connected to source. She's channeling this out.
Yeah, and I feel like Daria is also in her own way. I think all of these are permission slips to share source energy. And for me, I really resonate with human design. Like Bashar says, follow whatever excites you. Daria really likes Vedic astrology.
And like I really resonate with channeling, and when Bashar channels, I feel it. But you know, there are so many bullshit channels out there. Like, I'm gonna go in this channeling state now, and then I'm like, fuck you.
And also, one thing I want to tell people is that a lot of these permission slips, if someone's telling you about yourself or whatever, they really work when you actually are your authentic self. Like if I read this to you and you're like, no, that's not me, because you actually know yourself.
Exactly.
You know? And that's when it's fun. It's like when someone else channels something that like Daria doesn't know you. She hasn't met you in person. And then she channels this from Vedic astrology, and you're like, oh, fuck, that is on point.
And that's basically the only way I have fun now, being with authentic selves. Because otherwise, it's not. Then I'm rather alone. So yeah, keep talking.
And I do think that someone needs to be their authentic self in order to channel.
In order to do
anything. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna read this. So Daria really wants me to be. She loves me so much, and she really wants me to be with someone who very much deserves me. And I think she really approves of you, babe. So anyways, this is what she said.
Because I also, which Daria doesn't know, when you come out to your scooter, there's a surprise. I assembled you the phone holder.
I love you. Okay, so she said the activity of a person with Uranus and Capricorn is like a suddenly awakened volcano. So the Uranus and Capricorn is just like different placements in astrology. But so anyways, so she's basically saying you're like a suddenly awakened volcano. Such a person is ready to live for the sake of building a better future. This is the generation of the future. They actively change the social structure and norms. They carry the ability to fit the new into the familiar and make it accessible for others. A possible downside is that this person could have no morality. They are very business people and will go all the way to achieve their goals, which I don't think that's you. He also has a very strong craving for all things that are new, authentic, and original. This is where you have, she said, this is her own footnote, this is where you have a perfect fit, you two, as my footprint is to be the leader of the original. And then she said, so he'll always be attracted to you. And then she was like, I feel very emotional. She said, I felt very emo doing his chart, as I could see a pretty good overlap with yours, as in we're like a good connect, we're complementary. I really hope it works out for you both. You're very kind of the opposites, yet very aligned in your mission and karmic path. He has a very strong business mind with an energy of a volcano, ready to challenge and change social structures and norms. And you're a visionary, she's talking about me, real change driver and revolutionary with original ideas, which are aimed at changing old structures and societal norms, but less business minded. So you'll always lean toward non-monetary things as long as you can be with your ideas. And then this was a disclaimer she said to us both, was the only negatives I can see on both sides is that you both need to stay in your body, quote unquote, which is stay grounded in order to do what you're here to do. Lots of exercise to ground yourself, self-care, stable routines, not crazy lifestyle, which will drain you. Faraday needs retrieval space as he finds answers in isolation. When things get too busy, he needs to step back and be alone to refill his energy. Otherwise, he'll get sick super fast. Also, if you do any kind of psychedelics, you need to do a lot of grounding exercises after. This will help you faster bring your ideas to life. He should not do any strong drugs, as he has an addiction tendencies, and instead of working through challenges, he may choose drugs when he is overwhelmed. But instead, he needs alone time to recharge. Basically, the worst outcome for him would be losing his mind. He has that as a possible negative in one of his other timelines. So basically a close timeline to this one, you lost yourself. So he must avoid getting to that point at any cost, because if it happens, there's no going back. Bum, bum, bum. Doo-doo.
Whoa. You want to comment on it?
I mean, it felt so on point when she sent it to me that I was getting like super big goosebumps, and also knowing she doesn't know you, and she doesn't know that like you and I have been talking about you worried about losing your mind. Like that is one of your biggest worries.
That is my biggest fear, because this, it's the level I'm at. There's all these parallel fairies. They are talking to me. I can feel them, and I dream about them. I get visions about them. And this fairy who was pieced out of this reality is giving me signs. Don't smoke too much DMT. Ground yourself. Less is more. Don't, stay. You want to be here in this reality. You want to transform this reality. That's what you chose. And that's why I get these, also my trips, showing how it is to lose my mind. Like, this is not what I want to experience. I'm gonna, say views about psychedelics. Less is more. Now I feel like I'm done with psychedelics, and so on. Who's that? Okay, yeah, we end the podcast. You can tell her I keep talking, because I just want to talk about how that's resonant. This, when you sent me this, I'm like, yeah. This is so, like, I could talk now for hours, but it's just so accurate as fuck.
Talk about like how I want you to keep talking, but I want to say one last thing is I felt also really amazing about what she wrote, because it is how I feel about you. Like, I know I've always known since I was little that I was meant to do something really big in the world and to be a leader of something that I didn't even understand yet, because no one had done it yet. And I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, I'm here and I'm ready and I have all this energy.
Same.
And I also was like, had so many people tell me, but you need to be a business person. Brittnee, you can make so much money. And I'm like, it's so true what she says in there. Like, I don't care about monetary things. I just want to, make the things that I want to build in the world. And then I always just kept coming back to like the 3D reality of needing to do the things and do this and do business things. And I was kind of like stop building the new in order to go back into the old world and make money. And then I just finally got the download. Like, I want to partner with someone. So like, I'm really good at one thing and they're really good at the other. And then we can complement each other. And then I started really looking for this in the people I was dating. And I wanted them to be powerful, like I was powerful. And I didn't find anyone. And then I found you.
And then I stepped out of my UFO and was like, I'm this volcano full of energy and I see it all. Let's create it. Ra-ta-ta. So yeah, I could talk about this now forever, how accurate it is, but I won't, because just listen to it again and it's so accurate. And there's no rush. I'm excited to keep talking about it, keeping these podcasts up. Brittnee and I love our podcast. We just invite you into our relationship and we discover it. And this podcast, this is how we are all day. And it's we keep getting these downloads. We share about it. We enjoy the discovery together, and it's so nice to welcome you all in. And if it resonates, you're part of that. We're all that. So yeah, stay tuned. Soon we're also gonna start vlogging. And if you want to order something at Rocker Nutrition, we deliver to Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. Vegan supplements. What is it called? Sustainable and carbon neutral. Yeah, I think that's carbon neutral. Shipping. It's just great. So if you want to have order any supplements, use the code FERDI to save 10% and support your boy. And yeah, at the end, I always roll a Bashar nugget. And if you want more Bashar, go to Spotify. It's called Higher Mind. And they are the best Bashar nuggets. And if you want more Bashar, send me a DM on Instagram at VGainStrengths or at VGains. And what you put out is what you get back. You want more, you get more. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace out.
Most things are self-fulfilling. You have a governing system automatically inherent within you. Most of you will understand when you are straying from the vibration that is your own true path. Some will not. But you see, now I'm going to put this euphemistically in your language. I don't necessarily mean this absolutely literally, but we understand there are simply few words that will translate this idea. So, take this with a grain of salt, but you'll get the point. The worst hell you can be in is the hell you don't know you're in. You understand? So, having a negative ego, in a sense, is its own punishment, even though they think they're being rewarded. Because at some point, somewhere in the structure of their existence, they will be able to recognize what that energy did to them at that moment, and they will experience the consequences of that state of being. Because there is nowhere for energy to go but here. And even though in physical reality you have the opportunity to experience the idea of delaying the consequences of your acts, somewhere you will always experience the consequences of your acts. This is not meant as punishment. It is not meant as a judgment. It is just simple physics. There is nowhere for energy to go but here. So everything you do has a consequence. For every action, there is a reaction. Somewhere along the timeline of your existence, you will experience the consequence of every single choice you have made. And again, it's not a punishment, it's just a reflection so that it can guide you in getting in touch with who it is you really do prefer to be, and perhaps even more strongly, who it is you don't prefer to be. Because some of you find it actually easier to learn who you want to be by spending a lot of time finding out who you don't want to be. But if that's what works for you, that's what works. No one way is better than any other way. If there was only one way, there would only be one person on the planet. Look around. All the different ways are all the ways that all that is has of experiencing itself, and all that is knows they are all valid. All that is knows that everything you do, even the negative things, is actually done out of love. It's just that many of you have not necessarily been taught how to express love in a positive way. So even when there is a negative expression, the desire behind that expression is for connection, for love, for self-worth, for a feeling of belonging, for a feeling of knowing that you have a purpose in existing. But many people on your planet have not been taught compatible ways of expressing that or constructive ways of expressing that. Yet nevertheless, even a negative act is an act of love, even though it may have a distorted expression. So those being of negative ego are still doing it out of love. It's just that they have never been taught how to express the compatible, harmonious idea of ego with regard to the idea of the love they are attempting to share. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, and it actually raises a slight, maybe clarification question.
Clarification. Yes.
When working with, and I just came out of a recent experience with this, someone that I did not have those tools, and
Yes.
I've tried every way possible to resolve something without conflict.
Yes.
So how do you work with people that don't seem to want, who do
Well,
seem to
there
want
are
conflict?
a variety of ways, although do remember that one of the ways is sometimes to simply recognize that someone may not be compatible with your vibration and to not interact with them. Sometimes walking away is the most constructive thing you can do, because you are showing them the consequences of their behavior. And if they actually want to interact with you, then they will have to change and become more compatible with your frequency in order to get you back into their reality. So sometimes the most positive thing you can do is actually disconnect from interacting with someone who is of an incompatible vibration to you. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Not always, but that may be the last resort. You may need to do that and recognize it as the most compassionate thing you can actually do, because you're showing them what the consequence of their behavior is on you. You follow me?
Yes, absolutely.
However, you always have the opportunity to reflect to someone what you believe their vibration is doing. Most people in that sense who are projecting onto others, of course, are simply projecting their own fears about themselves onto others, a fear of their lack of power, lack of connection, lack of belonging, lack of self-worth, and are projecting it onto others to distract themselves from having to look at that belief within their own being. If you recognize that, you can love them for what they are doing and reflect back to them that you are willing to support them in discovering what fear they would have to have in order to have to lash out at you the way they are lashing out. Because you know that such lashing out is a reflection of fear. Now, if they are afraid to look at the fear, there's not going to be much you can do to help them. But you can always offer to recognize that the only way you would be lashing out at me is if you are in great fear. Somehow you have a definition of me that triggers something in you that makes you feel threatened. I do not have the intention of threatening you. I love you. Let me help you find out what that fear is. We can work on it together. We can discover it and together become more powerful in this sharing. If they're not willing to do that, then say, I love you anyway, goodbye. You follow?
Absolutely.
Does that
Thank
help?
you. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.